Thank you so much, dear devotees, for joining our Friday evening Bhagavad-gita discussion. We'll get started momentarily. Reading from Bhagavad-gita, chapter 8, verse 18, after this brief prayer to the spiritual master. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjan-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Saputam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sate Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Premanande
Hare Hare Bol. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada.
All
Okay,
good.
so I heard some more beeps.
Sukumla Mataji. Hare Krishna. Arshana Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I'm just going to put them in the order that I see because I think during the prayers quite a few of you joined us.
I am
Garima,
after
are you in
Kamala
a position to-
Kamala Mataji.
Hold on for 1 second. Garima Mataji, are you in a position to read?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, then Madhav Sangini.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, and then Pushpa. Pushpa is there.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I won't be
Hare
able to read. Usually
Okay.
I'm driving around this time.
Okay, no
It can
problems. Yeah, I
drop.
remember from
Thank
last
you.
time. Yeah. Okay, so Vindhyavali wants to be after Sukumal. Might not be a bad idea, Mataji, to try to recognize other devotee voices as well. So, getting started, bringing up Bhagavad-gita verse 18. Let me know whether you can see Bhagavad-gita verse 18 and the reading order as well. Can somebody say yes? Oh,
Yeah,
Yes,
now.
Yes, Mataji.
now you can see. Okay, so there's a delay there. All right. So
Yeah.
today, this is the verse that we're going to read today. But before that, we will go and do the whole chapter, starting with everybody reading one verse each, starting with Sukomal Radhe Mataji. Okay, Sukomal Radhe Mataji.
Yeah.
Let's get
Text
started.
1. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the Self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me.
Who is the Lord of sacrifice and how does he live in the body? O Madhusudana. And how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death?
Devi, drop off. Devi, if you're reading, you are on mute.
Okay, Mataji.
3.
So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entity is called karma or fruitive activities. Text 4.
Krishna Ji. O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adhibhuta, the material manifestation, the universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of the sun and moon, is called Adhideva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as super soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adhi-yagna. Mataji, scroll a little. Adhi-yagna, the Lord of sacrifice. Hare Krishna. Jyoti.
Hare Krishna Mataji. And whosoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone at once attain my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Hare Krishna Ji.
Text 6. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Hare Krishna.
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me. Hare Krishna.
One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature.
One who at the time of death fixes his live air between the eyebrows and, by the strength of yoga, with an understanding mind, engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion, will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkara, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation.
Hare Krishna Ji. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life air at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Ji. After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letter, if one thinks of Supreme Personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. Hare Krishna Ji.
For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Garima Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji. Arjun wants to read.
Very nice. Go ahead, Arjun.
Personality of Godhead and quits his
Which
body,
verse is he reading?
he will
Garima?
Oh,
He has to
no,
read
you have to
15.
read from
15,
text.
15.
This is, you are seeing it, but you have to read it from here. I told you.
After attaining me, the great souls who are yogs in
Yogis.
devotions never return to this temporary world, which is filled of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection.
Right.
Very nice. Very
Very
nice.
Thank you,
nice.
So
Mataji.
happy. Okay. Now
Thank
you can
you.
read, Garima, the next word.
From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are place of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again.
By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night.
At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again.
Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being. And with the arrival of Brahma's night, they have helplessly annihilated.
Yet there is another unmanifested nature which is eternal and is transcendental to the manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater
No,
than
sir,
all,
21. 21.
that which the Vedantists describe as manifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns. That is my supreme abode. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna ji. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading, and everything is situated within him.
Sutapa Mataji, you want to go?
No, Arjun's name is here. Arjun is
Arjun is there.
lead. Yes.
Okay. Arjun, your chance. भी सब लोग वेट कर रहा है.
Which part?
23.
Those who
No.
oh, best of the but like I shall know
Now.
now explain to you the different times that which passing away from this world. The yoga does
Yogi.
the yogi does or does not come back.
Sutapa.
Yes, Mataji. Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery god. In the light, at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6th month when the sun travels in the north.
The mystic who passes away
Sorry.
from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back. Thank you, Mata.
According to the Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns.
Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion.
A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Hare Krishna.
Text 29.
There is no 29.
Oh, no. Okay.
I like that.
It's my
Okay.
chance.
What do you want to read? Okay, which verse are we supposed to do today?
18.
18.
And what did we do last time?
We discussed about
many
Brahma's day and
calculations we did.
Brahma's night. And then the conclusion, I think, was regardless of how long a day or a time is for us or life is, we shouldn't worry. Devotion is more important. Focus on devotion.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So now Krishna is continuing on after having described Brahma. Then he's saying in text 80, at the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state. And thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again. Now, Krishna is saying all this, right, in all these verses in the chapter, because in the beginning, Arjun had asked him some questions, right? So, which question is this the answer to? There were some questions he asked, right, in the beginning. Go back and look.
Yeah. What is the material manifestation?
Correct. For 500 points, right? And what were the other questions he asked?
That how do we know you at the time of death?
That is one. But the second, yeah.
Yeah.
What other questions he asked?
What are the demigods?
Okay, give him that one.
What is Brahman?
Hmm.
What is the self? All these five.
And then? One more.
Oh yeah, fruitive activities.
Fruitive activities, right? Kim tadbram, kim adhyatmam, kim karma purushottama, adhibhutam chakun proktam, adhidevam kim uchyate, right? Okay. So, welcome Rupal, Sonal and Subodhini Matajis. Okay, so let's now get into the verse itself.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam.
Dhanvats. Avyaktād vyaktaha sarvāḥ prabhavantya ahar-āgame rātri-āgame pralīyante tatraivāvyakta-saṁjñake. Avyaktād vyaktaha sarvāḥ prabhavantya ahar-āgame rātri-āgame pralīyante tatraivāvyakta-saṁjñake. Avyaktād vyaktaha sarvāḥ prabhavantya ahar-āgame rātri-āgame pralīyante tatraivāvyakta-saṁjñake. Avyaktād means from the unmanifest. Vyaktaha, living entities. Sarvāḥ, all. Prabhavanty, become manifest. Ahar-āgame, at the beginning of the day. So, ahar is the day. Agame is the first part of it. So, the beginning of the day. Rātri-āgame, at the fall of the night, right? When the night is beginning. Rātri-āgame. Pralīyante are annihilated. Tatra, into that. Eva, certainly. Avyakta, the unmanifest. Saṁjñake, which is God. So at the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state. And thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again. What happened to the purport?
This doesn't have a purport.
It doesn't have a purport.
No, there is no
right?
purport, Mataji.
That's what
Because
we
I
said
guess
to
the
tell.
translation is simple.
It's very simple. And so what will we do? Class dismissed.
At the beginning of Brahma's day.
So let's think about this.
At the
A
beginning
little
of
bit more.
Brahma's day, all living entities
Right?
from the best.
What do you say?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Go ahead.
Are we supposed to ask questions? Not just now. Shall I ask?
Absolutely. I can ask questions. You can share your reflections because
So-
there's no purport.
We are talking about all living entities become manifest. That means they are visible, and that is during the daytime, Brahma's day, and then they merge into unmanifest again when it is dark. That means they merge into the darkness, or they merge into something that is does not exist.
So let us first understand what is the meaning of unmanifest, right? What is the meaning of manifesting first, right? We have to first understand.
Something that is visible, I think, which we can see, and things can be seen better than light. In darkness.
Yes, things can be seen better than light. Definitely, that's true. But here, it is not in that context that they're using darkness at night, right? They're just talking that during Brahma's day. Like, for example, we work during the day, right? Then we come back home. We're not doing our office work, right? And then we go to sleep. So similarly, he's also saying that during Brahma's day, he will be taking care of this universe, right? Whatever needs to be done. And during Brahma's night, things have to stop. And what is the level at which they stop is what we will discuss, right? So first thing we have to understand is, what does it mean that a living entity becomes manifest from the unmanifest state? Okay, because who is a living entity?
Us.
We people.
Yes. And what is another word for living entity?
Jivas.
Yes. And Varshana could not. This is participating. Okay. And what's another word for living entity in English? Living entity starts with the letter S.
Living entity.
Huh? Living entity. Another word for living entity.
Spirit soul.
Invisible.
Spirit soul. Yeah, spirit soul, right? Yeah, right. So what does it mean that the living entity becomes manifest from the unmanifest state? So living entities are eternal. They live forever. Okay. And every living entity also has got a spiritual form. And we do not know what the spiritual form is. When we rise to a very high level of devotional service, at that time we get to understand what our actual swarup is. And but when we are here in this material world, right, that swarup is hidden from us. Okay, so when the living entity is here in this material world, when the living entity takes on a material body, okay, because living entity is not visible to anybody. So it's only when a living entity will be covered by a material body of a particular form, right, shape, form, size, then others will be able to see them. And that is what we call as that they are manifested. Okay, so now let's take this nice the thing is that we are so much in this material life, we are very much focused on the forms, right? What do we see? We can't see anything which does not have a form, right? Can we see anything which does not have a form?
No.
Right? You can't see because we are, so that is where we are, right? So in this verse, so let's look a little bit at the form. We are enamored of the form. And there's a very nice story that Prabhupada told in his lectures. And that story is called Liquid Beauty. And it talks about a married man in a very good family with a very good wife. And he falls into bad company. And when he falls into bad company, his friend, you get influenced by the company. So his friends tell him that, hey, you know what? There is a very beautiful prostitute. Let's go there. And obviously he gets, pressurized by the peer pressure that is there. And he goes there. And when he sees that prostitute, she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful that he's completely mesmerized. And then he starts visiting her again and again. And so obviously then the wife gets to know about it. And so wife is very upset. And she was a very nice wife, very decent, So she goes to the prostitute and says that you're spoiling my family and my life. So can you please do something about it, So then the prostitute was good at heart. When she hears that plea, she feels soft about that. And then she says, okay, I'll do something about it. So next time when this man comes to meet her, she tells him that, okay, yeah, fine, we're going to spend some time today. And then let's meet after a fortnight. And so he says, okay, it'll be unbearable for me to wait for 14 days, but if you wish that way, then I'll do it. So then he goes away 14 days. And then during these 14 days, what this lady does is that she eats a lot of purgatives, so that everything from her body gets flushed out, And then all that is getting flushed out. She asks her servants to collect in pitchers and keep them at one side. Then so she becomes very thin and, very emaciated. Wrinkles appear and all that because water is gone, food is gone, and she's not eating any food. She's just removing everything from the body. And then after 14 days, this man is very eager, excited. He comes and knocks at the door. So this lady opens the door. The prostitute opens the door and he says, okay, where is she? So she says, who is she? I want that, Jaya or whatever the name was. He said, well, I am she. He said, I can't believe it. He said, why can he not believe it? He said, no, that Jaya that I know is so beautiful. Her eyes are so beautiful. Her arms are supple. Her color is so fair. And you are like, her hair is so silky. You are completely opposite of that. What exactly I'm saying? So he says, okay, let's come here. I'll show you something in this room. So she goes, so she takes him to a room. And then in that room are all these pictures kept. And he says, you know what? The only thing that is the difference between the body that you saw 14 days ago and what you're seeing now is all that. That picture. So it is our complete and total focus and mesmerization by the form. So when a soul takes on a body, that is called manifested state. Now let us see what is the meaning of unmanifestation. Right? So it's saying, right? Rātri-āgame pralīyante. So they are pralīyante, right? tatraivāvyakta-saṁjñake. So let's again take the example of, I'm going to give you some romantic examples today. Somebody's girlfriend, right? Or it's a tragedy. Somebody's girlfriend, and they are the Zoroasters, the Parsis. And so she dies very young. And like 18 or 19, she dies. And you know how what the Parsis do to the dead? Anybody from Mumbai?
They leave it to the open field for the birds to eat.
For the birds
Feed
to
it
eat.
to the birds.
They give it to the birds to eat, right? Because they consider that fire is sacred and earth is sacred, so they won't bury and they won't burn. So they let it, and they also think that body gets used. Actually, this pratha, right, is also carried out by those who are in Tibet. Some parts of the Tibet also follow that, and the reason is that fire is very difficult to make and sustain. And it is so cold there that burying the body will just keep it like that. So they also, but they have a very different thing. I think in the Parsis, they have this tower of silence, right on the top of a building. They will keep all that. But in the Tibet, what they do is that there will be a person who will go and he will start cutting the body and takes out the heart first, which is supposed to be the most important part of the body. And then there will be vultures sitting there, and there'll be a head vulture. So the heart goes to the head vulture, and then the rest of the body, other vultures.
Oh, God. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so what happens at the Tower of Silence is that these birds are going to eat the body,
What
right?
is she doing?
So the birds eat this body, and then the birds will pass the body, whatever they've eaten, they will they will pass it as stool, right? And where does the stool go? The stool will go to the ground, right? So now, if somebody was to go and tell the boyfriend that this is your girlfriend, pointing to a piece of stool, he'll be horrified. right? Because we are fixed on a certain form. However, stool also has got some form. Stool
What
also
is
is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether, everything is there. But over a period of time, that stool will also disintegrate, will become powder. Whatever is the air inside the stool will go back, get mixed with the air, right? And then the gross part of the stool will get into the earth. And now you cannot see anything about that, any part of that girlfriend, right? Because it's all gone after the stool is disintegrated. That is the unmanifested state. You just cannot see anything whatsoever about that. So what this verse is saying is that during the day of the Brahma, living entities will take on human bodies. But when the night comes, pralīyante, pralaya will come, and they will be merged into the unmanifest again, which basically means that whatever is earth will get into the earth, whatever is water will get into the water, whatever is fire will get into the fire, and so on and so forth, like that. Now, rātri-āgame pralīyante, tatraivāvyakta-saṁjñake. In the night, this is going to happen. But guess what? What happens the next day?
Again, it will start.
Again, it will start what?
Again, they'll be manifest.
They will be manifest, right? So one thing to keep in mind here, is that when this so-called pralaya happens, right? When the so-called pralaya happens, the body that was there, right? That was a proper shape. So the body that was there, that body gets converted into some other shape, maybe, as we saw, got converted into pieces of stool, right? Or gets, converted into further pieces that you cannot easily decipher because they don't have a shape, but it got converted into earth, water, fire, air, ether, like that, right? Into that. But it doesn't go away anywhere. So we learn in physics also that matter is indestructible. We also hear about energy is indestructible. Energy, if it is heat energy, you cannot destroy it. You can convert it into sound. Sound energy, you can convert it into, potential energy. You can do all kinds of things, right? But you cannot kill the energy. Similarly, with the soul also, you cannot kill the soul, right? You can't, with the soul, you can't even cut it, cleave it, you cannot change the soul. But if you were to talk about the body that covers the soul, that body can undergo changes and be visible to your eyes and not visible to your eyes, right? So matter is also not destructible. Matter is also not destroyed. It's just that that shape becomes unmanifest to you. You're not able to see that particular shape. So there's a difference between being converted and being destroyed. And in that context, neither matter nor the soul are destroyed in any, right? In any case, in either of the cases, whether that's so. Pralaya, as we understand pralaya, right? Pralaya we understand to be destruction, right? But don't think of pralaya as just destruction, right? Pralaya is just, unmanifestation. That's what it is. So matter will also remain. So whether something is unmanifested, whether you're not able to see it, has got nothing to do with Brahma's day or the fact that it is dark, right? Our dark and light with which we use for seeing the things, they happen many times in Brahma's one day, right? So in the night, they will become unmanifested. It will go back to earth, water, fire, air, ether. And the next day, Brahma will start to do them again, right? Construct them again. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji. It was so well interpreted. I could understand it well.
Thank you. Yeah. And ether is spelled as E-T-H-E-R. So when we have answering Gopal's question on the chat, so ether, so there are 5 elements, or actually there are 8 elements. Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu. We read that in 7.3. Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi, Revacha, Ahankara, Ityamya, Bhinna, Prakriti, Ashtara. So there are 8 energies that make up this body, the grass and the subtle body. So there is earth, which gives a shape to the body, right? There is water. We know our bodies are 99% water. There is fire in the body as well. And that is why you see, and there is water, fire, air is there, and ether is there. It's difficult to explain what ether is. Ether actually equates to space, the concept of space, ka, right? Kam. is space. You can just understand that to be when there's a nucleus. If you look at the atom, there's nucleus in the middle, right? And there are electrons that are moving around it. So what is it that is between the nucleus and the electrons that are moving around? We would just think, oh, there is air. But we are not talking at the level of air. We are talking about that inside the air itself, there is oxygen and hydrogen. Inside the oxygen, we have taken one atom of oxygen. And now I'm asking you, what is in between there? That is ether.
Space.
Okay, or called space or akash. People say akash or sky, so you'll find that referred to by these many names like that. And yeah, you got it right. Okay, yeah, so thank you for that, asking that question. Anybody else? Any other thoughts, any other questions on this? When there is no purport, there should be more questions. Because Prabhupada chose not to explain it.
How is the fire in the body?
How is there fire in the fire? Is what are the symptoms of fire?
Heat,
energy,
light.
Heat and light, right? So both heat and light equate to fire. If there is fire in the body, you will get heat and light, right? There is fire. You hear in chapter 15 of Bhagavad-gita, aham vaishnavaro bhutva praninam deham ashrita
For digestion.
pranapan-samayukta. I am the fire of digestion, right?
Yes.
Pranapan-samayukta pachamya annam chaturvidham. So I digest the 4 types of food. And because I become the fire of digestion. So there is fire. Whatever heat you are getting in the body is coming because there is fire in the body. But what about the light, right? Fire is supposed to give light also. If I have got fire in my body, I should be glowing, effulgent, right? So the reason is that the quantity of fire in our body is much, much less than the quantity of earth that we have, right? So earth gives us a form, earth gives us a weight also, but fire is very little. Now, in contrast, the devtas, right? The devtas in the heavenly planets, their body has got more fire in it and less earth. And that's why devtas are very light. They're light in weight. Some of the characteristics that come because of earth, for example, perspiration, devtas don't perspire. And because they have a lot of fire in them, that's why they glow. So we say there is effulgence coming from them. That is because they have a glow coming from them.
It's the glowing of the skin.
Yeah, coming from within the fire, from the fire within the body.
Thank
Devi?
you.
Hare Krishna.
One question came up in my mind that manifestation and destruction. When the destruction takes place, then all the souls will get into Krishna, and after again when Brahma creates, then they unmanifest in the creation. How is that related to this property?
How is that related to this verse? Right. That's the question, Varshana? I was able to partially...
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
You ask him how this is related, right?
Lot of knowledge.
Right. So remember when we said when Brahma's night arrives, who all are destroyed? Not everybody in this material world is destroyed, right? The higher planets, which are spiritual planets, they don't get destroyed, but the ones below that, they all get destroyed, right? So what happens to the souls? The souls go into the body of the Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, right? The one who is at the bottom of the universe. They will go there, right? And when Brahma himself dies, then the whole universe, etc., will go into the body of Karanodakshaya Vishnu, Mahavishnu, who is lying in the ocean of causal ocean, right? Like that. So that's how it relates with, yeah. Devi? Devi, I
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, I see a hand raised here.
Yes, Mataji, I have a question about demigods like Brahma. So Brahma, we talked in the last class that he is in Rajogun, right?
Yes.
So Mataji, are they above all the gunas and they accept Rajogun to create, or they are in Rajogun?
They actually, that's a very interesting question, a very good question. they are actually the controllers of the gunas. But we normally say that they are Rajoguna, but what happens is that Shiva controls mode of ignorance, Vishnu controls mode of goodness, and Brahma controls mode of passion. But when they are also dealing with this, they get impacted by it. That's why sometimes you will see that Lord Shiva will grant wounds that you would just think like, why did he even do that? Right? So they have this tendency. And then also remember when we say Shiva, there are two Shivas, two types of Shivas actually. So one is a Shiva who is in this material world, like a Shiva demigod, right? And then there is another Shiva who is known as Sada Shiva. And Sada Shiva lives in between the material world and the spiritual, in the spiritual world. So he's Sada Shiva, he does not, and he in the Brahma Samhita, when you hear the references to Shambhu, then the Shambhu that we are talking about, who's considered to be the glance. So the glance of Krishna, when it is given a shape, becomes Sadashiva. And so they are not, in the mode of ignorance at all. But this one, the three that we have, which we also hear in the first canto, second chapter of Bhagavad-gita, of Srimad Bhagavatam, sorry, where all the three are described there. So these three demigods will be there in every universe, right? All the universe will have these three because all the universes are material universes. All the universes will be impacted by Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun, and they will need somebody to direct these modes. But they also get impacted by that. And then, of course, Brahma has a desire to create. And the desire to create is Rajo. Rajas gives right to the desire to create. So because he had the desire to create, but he's also a devotee of the Lord, right? But mixed, not completely pure. And we talked about that last time, right? That if they are not completely pure, they'll come back again to this world. But if they practice devotional service, then when the universe is annihilated, they will go back to Godhead together with whoever was there with them on their planet, worshipping them.
Okay. I like the seventh sloka also, Mataji. That so you carry on doing your duties, Arjuna. Krishna says in the material world, but at the same time you must remember me. So Mataji gives a very conscious, very and gives me a little peace of mind that we are busy doing our duties in this material world, to our family, to the society and everything. And still remembering Krishna. So that becomes very, it gives me a lot of happiness.
Yes, good observations. And actually, that reminds me of a very nice verse when you talked about family and all. And I also mentioned about our constant fixation with the form, right? In Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, right? Let me bring up that verse here and start sharing. 10:84:13. Let me see if I can share my window. 10. What happened to Zoom? Okay. Share the screen. Yeah. Okay, here. It's a very interesting verse. Yasyatma buddhi gunape tridhatuke swadhi kalatrādishu bhauma ijyadihi yatirtha buddhihi salilena karhichij janeshvabhigyeshu saeva gokharaha. Yasya, whose, Atma, as his self, buddhihi, idea, kunape is a corpse-like body, tridhatuke, made of three basic elements, swa, as his own, dhihi, idea, kalatradishu, in wife and so on, bhome, in earth, ijya, as worshipable, dhihi, idea, yat, whose, tirtha, as a place of pilgrimage, buddhihi, idea, salile, in water, nakarhichit, never, janeshu, in men, abhigyeshu, wise, saha, he, eva, indeed, gaha, a cow, kharaha, or an ass. Let's see what the translation is. One who identifies his self as the inert body composed of mucus, bile, and air, who assumes his wife and family are permanently his own, who thinks an earthen image or a land of his birth is worshipable, or who sees a place of pilgrimage as merely the water there, but who never identifies himself with, feels kinship with, worships, or even visits those who are wise in spiritual truth. Such a person is no better than a cow or an ass. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. True intelligence is shown by one's freedom from false identification with the self. As stated in the Brahaspati Samhita, Agyata Bhagavad Dharma Mantra Vijnana Samvidaha Naraste Go Kharagya Gya Api Bhupala Vanditaha. Men who do not know the principles of devotional service to the Supreme Lord should be known as cows and asses, even if they are expert in technically analyzing Vedic mantras and are adored by world leaders. An imperfect Vaishnava advancing towards a second-class platform identifies himself with the sages who have established a true spiritual path, even while he still may have some inferior material attachments to body, family, and so on. Such a devotee of the Lord is not a foolish cow or stubborn ass like the majority of materialists. But most excellent is the Vaishnava who has gained the special mercy of the Lord and broken free from the bondage of illusory attachments altogether. According to Srila Vishnu Chakravarti, Bhauma Ijyati, who thinks an image made of earth is worshipable, refer not to the deity form of the Supreme Lord in his temple, but to deities of demigod, and the words Yat Tirtha Buddhi Salile, who sees a place of pilgrimage merely the water there, refer not to sacred rivers like Ganges and Yamuna, but to the lesser rivers. Thoughts? Comments? What do you say?
What is that, Mataji? Image made of earth is worshipable.
Yeah, so what about the image base?
And I was thinking that is refer not to the deity form of the Supreme Lord in his temple, but
So what are some other images made of earth which people worship?
yeah, they made with sand and they made with
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying images made of earth, but it's not a deity form of Supreme Lord. So what are some other images made of earth?
Of demigods.
Of demigods, right? It's right there in front of you. What others, if not demigods? Who others?
Who sees a place of pilgrimage?
No. Let's stay on the question that we are discussing here. My question here is that there are images made of earth and earth, right? And
Statues of the leaders and other things.
Correct. Statues of leaders, film actors, and all that, right? People worship them as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right. So, Prabhupada is clarifying there, right? Because in the verse it doesn't come out very clearly. Because anybody might jump to the conclusion like, oh, if I have a deity of Krishna made of earth, and then I should not be worshiping him, right? So this is very, very, very powerful verse because, and again, talking about, he's saying that, you're identifying yourself as with something that is made up of three dhatuke. What are the three dhatu? Three elements, right? Three dhatus are mucus, bile, and air, right? Kapha, pitta, and vat, right? Vadi. So those three make up, according to Ayurvedic principles, our body is made up of these three things. And you are thinking, I am the body. I am the body, right? So that itself is wrong. Number two, they assume their wife and their family, they are permanently his own. Now we have just right. Bhutva pralīyante rātri-āgame avasya partha prabhavanty ahar-āgame, right? So when the night of Brahmā comes, your wife and family will be gone for sure. So if you are assuming that they are permanently my own, then that is also a foolish thing. If somebody says that any image made out of earth is worshipable, then they are also foolish. Sorry, because they are not making a distinction between the Lord and the others. And who sees a place of pilgrimage as merely a water. So you see any place which has got some water, that becomes a place of pilgrimage for you. That is not there. A true place of pilgrimage is where the sants come, the sages come. They come and they recite and they chant and they have Krishna Katha. That becomes a place of pilgrimage, and not just because there is water somewhere, right? It becomes it, right? Or if somebody thinks that his place of birth, my Matrabhumi, is a place of my worship, then today this is your Matrabhumi, tomorrow that is your Matrabhumi. You go to from one country to another country, you take the citizenship there, that becomes your Matrabhumi, and then you go to another country and that becomes your Matrabhumi. So what will you, who is your Matra, right? So, and to think that it becomes a place of worship, just because you are born there. If you want to worship India because Krishna was born there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born there, that's a different thing, right? So when you do that, right, and you do all these foolish things, and never you feel that you have a relationship or a nearness to the sages, right? Or you don't even feel a kingship, a oneness with them, or you forget about worshipping them and visiting places where they go, right? So he is saying that such a person is no better than a cow or an ass, right? And in today's verse also, we are talking about the impermanence of this material. So why are you investing your everything into something that is immaterial, but that is impermanent, right? And here he is saying this person is no better than a cow or an ass. And now you might ask this question, that how can you say some person is, I can understand calling somebody an ass, na gadha.
But cow, yes.
Gadha hai. But cow ko to you worship, right? So how come such a verse when we revere our scriptures, when we revere the cow in our scriptures, how come this one is saying that you are no better than an ass or a cow, right? What does the verse say? Yeah, such a person is no better than a cow or an ass, right? So how does that no better than a cow and an ass go? Is if you look at the life of a cow, right? So a cow will give birth to the calf, and when the calf is born, the cow is so happy and so full of love for the calf that it produces so much of milk for the calf, right? So much that even the calf cannot drink all of it. Now, if the calf dies, the cow stops to give milk.
Yeah.
Now, the people who are in the milk business, what they do, they want the cow to give milk. After all, that was the reason they were raising the cow. And now this the calf has died and the cow has stopped giving milk. So what they do is they will skin the calf and stuff the body with bhusa,
keep it there.
straw.
Terrible.
And then they will show that animal there. They will bring the calf there when it's time to milk, and the cow will produce the milk, right? So why they are equating is because the cow in that mentality is focusing on the material body, right? It is attached even to a dead calf, thinking that this is my child, forgetting that the soul of the child has already left the body. So that is why in this verse you see such a gross statement, but also now if you go back and listen to this, what this verse is saying is, we are not saying that such a person is foolish like a cow or ass. Our verse is not saying that. The verse from today was saying they are no better than a cow or an ass. So when they're no better than an ass, we are talking about intelligence. And as you also know that you give a little bit of a food, and then he takes all the beating in the world and will do the work and will not run away. So that's the beauty of the ass, is foolishness. And then no better than a cow is because the cow is also thinking in terms of the material body. And this person who has, thinks this Tridhatuke body he is this Tridhatuke body, then that person is almost acting like a cow, like that, right? So that is what it is. Any comments, any questions? We have a few minutes left.
That looks very sad. They make that dead that thing, calf's body, they make like that, and then they will show to the cow.
And this is entirely a new perspective, that cow is attached to the material thing. This way I never thought about it. Very nicely explained. And second thing I wanted to ask about your previous thing, that there are two types of Shivas, Shiva and Sadashiva. But my question is, are their functions the same, or what is what is their functions actually? One is the annihilation is the function of Shiva, we know about. That's what I know about it.
Right.
But
And this,
Sadashiv,
yeah, Sadashiv is above the modes of material nature because he's out of this material world, right? And I said that Sadashiv is the name given to the glands of Krishna. And in the material, in the Brahma Samhita, you will also read that Krishna has got nothing to do with his material energy. He will have consort, he will be the consort with all the gopis and Radha and all that. But he will never consort with Parvati, Krishna, right? But Parvati is Maya, right? And if he have to create, if she has to create, she has to get impregnated, right? So Krishna will impregnate Maya through, or Prakriti, not Maya, Prakriti, and same word we use that. So he will impregnate Prakriti through his glands. And that glands is called Sadashiva, right? So that's why you see, yeah, Shiva is also equated with, Shiva Linga, they say, right? So that Shiva is equated with. And he's above the modes of material nature. And Sadashiva means he is never destroyed. Sada means always, right? He's never destroyed when the material world is destroyed.
That means we cannot equate him to Krishna, but it is just a glance of.
It's a glance of Krishna, yeah.
Of Krishna.
And Shiva has got certain qualities, like it's to be completely equal to Krishna, and there is nobody same as Krishna. You need to have certain features. And Vishnu has got certain features. Then Shiva has a few more than Vishnu. The Vishnus that are in each of the Vaikuntha planets. And then Krishna has got even more. 4 or 5 qualities are there.
Okay.
Yeah, if you read
so the difference is of quantity.
Qualities, not quantity. Quality of features.
Quality of features. Yeah. Okay.
Mataji, what is that sloka, Mataji, Brahma Samhita?
Brahma Samhita sloka that we did, 1084-13.
13.
Yasyatma buddhi kurupe trudhatike swadhi kalatradi shubhoma ijjadi yatirtha buddhi salile na karheche tyani shubhikeshu sahe bhagokharaha. Yeah, very powerful verses in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Brahma Samhita, they are lot.
Okay, it is 7:00 p.m. here. We will call it a day.
For us, 10 o'clock.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, dear devotees, for joining our call.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Take care of your health.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shraddha Mataji.
Thank
so
you.
much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you, Shraddha Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.